Hey guys, Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this is Feedback Friday, weekly series where I take your questions from Twitter and answer them. If you're missing out on Twitter, you're missing out on the other half of YouTube. Anyway, feeling super chatty, so I grabbed my longest video. Buckle up, get comfortable, here we go. Woody, if everything Drifter said about COD Ghost is true, do you think you'll like it based on that? Alright, so the key things that I heard from him is it's going to take in the future, and it's going to have current guns. Here's what I think the plot is going to be. It's some sort of post-apocalyptic scenario where the only people left that are still fighting on our side anyway, because the bad guys won the apocalypse, are like this little small group like Wolverines the movie, you know, little group special forces doing guerrilla warfare, whatever, fighting for good. That's what I think the plot will be. As far as multiplayer, I think I'll like it. I think it'll be just like every other COD, which is to say, slightly better than the one that came before it. People don't agree with that. Everyone hates the current COD, but whatever, you just haters. Whatever, you can have valid opinions, but what I'm saying is oftentimes people don't appreciate the current COD till the next one's out, and then, you know, last year's COD is the best one ever. So it has current guns, even though it takes place in the future. I thought that was kind of a lack of balls decision. It might be the right one, by the way. If they did too much, if we started shooting lasers and needle guns and Halo-like type stuff, it wouldn't be COD anymore, and they'd be taking a really big risk. They'd keep it fresh, but it'd be a super big risk, one they decided not to take. So instead, they did this thing where they're like, yeah, it's super futuristic, but it's going to play just like every other COD in multiplayer because it's going to use the same guns that we've had since COD 4. Do I think I'll like it? Yes, I think I'll like it. I think it'll get slightly better. The score streaks will be new and the maps will be new, and it'll still be COD, but it'll be refreshed, which is what I've grown to expect from Call of Duty. I kind of wish they rolled the dice, and I'm totally open to new games. You know, with the next generation of consoles, there might be something that knocks off COD, just like with this generation of consoles, there was, you know, COD knocked off Halo. But we'll see. What programs do you use for gameplay and audio? So right now I use AverMedia stuff, the AverMedia Live Gamer HD, something like that, to capture the gameplay. And I use Premiere Pro to record my voice and render my videos and stuff like that. I used to use Sony Vegas, but it was totally unreliable. It crashed all the time. It would have glitchy, like, blinking things if I tried to, say, scroll an image across the screen. It's supposed to deal with Photoshop files, but it didn't deal with them properly, so I always had to render them out to, like, PNGs, and it was just too damn broken. And I paid for Sony Vegas, 600 some bucks. And then service, like if you have any questions and you want to call support, was 130 bucks a call. And it was just like, you know what, Sony, you're fired. I'm moving on. And now I'm with Premiere Pro and I'm happy. Woody, where's your gold play button? Man, if anyone knows where to sign up for the gold play button, please give me a link. And I need the actual registration form, because I can find pages that talk about it, even pages from YouTube, but I can't find the registration for this thing, and I deserve it. I don't even care about the $500 they give you towards mics and cameras and whatever. I really want the trophy. I feel like hitting 1 million subs. If you don't know, YouTube sends out this gold play button for channels that have 1 million subs. And when I got there, there were only 112 channels that had 1 million subs, and it was kind of like this thing, and yeah, I'm proud of it. Like, you know, say what you will, that's a pretty neat accomplishment, having 1 million people subscribe to your channel at one point or another, and I'm proud of it, and I really want the gold play button. It is my personal Oscar, but I don't have it. I don't have the gift certificate, which is and I don't have my trophy, which is unfortunate. So if anyone knows how to sign up for that thing, let me know. I'm bummed that I'm not part of it. Woody, what describes a money whore outside of YouTube? You know, I've never seen that term used outside of YouTube. It seems to be, you know, totally a YouTube phenomenon that, like, if you make money in the gaming community, it has to be an accident, and you need to apologize, and you know, that's how it's supposed to be. If Charles Barkley's out there pimping deodorant, it's completely fine. But I remember when CNanners first pimped Control Freaks, the little you know, additions to an Xbox controller. He did a whole video about how it was okay for people to make money on YouTube, that they don't need to be these starving artists. But I think he changed his mind once he got on salary, and then he changed it back. I don't know. That he can be him. But as far as what is a money whore outside of YouTube, I guess people that take money from others, you know, if you make your living in some dishonest way that hurts other people, then that's a bad thing. Mortgage fraud, con man. I don't know, but the things that make the world a worse place just to line your pocket. War profiteers. That comes to mind. Companies that like Halliburton. There were people who felt like Dick Cheney was in favor of the Iraq War partly because he had such a big investment in Halliburton, which profits from the Iraq War. That kind of thing, to me, could be money whoring. If it's true, I don't know. Woody, will you let Lefty put PKA on iTunes anytime soon for 99 cents? For those that don't know, we have these plans of putting PKA on like iTunes and Android phones and stuff like that and charging 99 cents for it. It'll still be free on my channel and Wings' channel, so stop your bitching. But there are some people who, A, just want to support the show and make sure that it keeps going forever, or B, maybe they prefer the convenience and an easy way to just like get it on their phones and listen to it while they're driving and things like that. And for those people, this would be an additional option that's not there now. The trouble is Lefty volunteered to do it but didn't know how to do it. So I feel like it's on me to figure out how to get this thing on iTunes and how to make it all set up. And then once it's there, we can, charge 99 cents for people that are interested in that option. That's the deal. But the reason it's not done yet is I haven't figured it out. Lefty hasn't figured it out. And there's a lot of demand for it. I get this question all the time. When is it going to be available? When can we get it? And I guess I should get to work. Why does every COD YouTuber almost always get noob lobbies? Alright, so I'm going to share all sorts of COD YouTuber tricks with you. Things, by the way, that I don't do. You can check out my combat record on Elite. It's all legit. But there are other people who do this all the time. And I don't care. I'm going to get to that in a second. But I really don't mind that people do this. But here are the tricks to get noobs in your lobbies. 1, remove the DLC, right? I hear these YouTubers saying, oh my god, there's always a bunch of tryhards on the new maps. You won't see me there. Yeah, because you prefer to play against weak players. That's okay. I'm not judging you. But if you remove the DLC, then you get weaker players because the stronger ones tend to play on the stronger maps or the new DLC and stuff like that. So that's one way. Another way to get weak lobbies, of course, there's reverse boosting. That's something that that people do. You can go into gun games, sticks and stones, or sharpshooter. The ones where you don't have to pick a class. And then you can literally just like not move in game after game after game, and your score per minute drops, your KD drops, your win-loss drops, everything drops, your stats get ruined, and you can be like watching a movie or eating dinner or something like that because you don't even have to select a class. It'll just auto log you in and make you lose, and that's reverse boosting. It's a way to get bad players. Another thing people do is they quit out of games all the time. If you quit a game, maybe you go in there, you find yourself at like whatever 6-6, and you're like, man, with this kind of start, I'm never going to get a YouTube game. I'll just quit this. Well, it ruins your win-loss ratio and impacts score-based or skill-based matchmaking, and it just keeps you like sort of farming lobbies until you get one that you excel in, which has noobs in it. But is it bad? I really don't care. Knock yourself out. Did you really think they were doing that against pros in the first place? No. Pub stompers are out there doing their thing. You don't go 120-0. And forgive me if someone just went 120-0. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. But you don't do that against good players, right? Even the pros don't get that against other pros. Of course not. If you want something that lopsided, then you got to place bad players. And some guys love watching the Harlem Globetrotters beat up on the Washington Generals. That's their thing. Does that mean that the guy going 120 against zeros is a bad player? No, he's a good player. He's a good player. And the Harlem Globetrotters, they're good at basketball. They really are. It's not easy to do that. People ask me, I'll mention Jay Nasty. People ask me if I had a team that supported me, would I be getting Pentam? Would I be getting Moabs? And the answer is, yeah, I think I'd be getting a lot of Moabs if I had a team that supported me like that, but I don't think I'd get any Penta Moabs. I wouldn't be getting 5 in one game. You have to be a good player to do some of this really outrageous stuff, and, that's the deal. It takes 2 things. 1, be really good at Call of Duty. 2, play people who aren't really good at Call of Duty. If you only have one of those, then you can only go so far. So that's the deal. I've never been accused of faking my gameplay, mostly because it's ridiculous to think that I can't go 25-5, which I'm willing to post on my own. So, and you can check my record. It's all there. Everything is cool. Oh, another thing I left out, new gamer tags. That's another way to get weak lobbies. If you see people like constantly refresh their gamer tags and get a new one all the time with no skill associated with it, you'll get into new lobbies because the game will think that you're a noob too. So that's the thing about COD and thing. They're Harlem Globetrotters showing off awesome skills in ways that you probably would never be able to show off against really good players. All this says is Feedback Friday, Wings Desk. Yeah, so look, I guarantee you I'm going to fix Wings Desk. I just don't know exactly how it's going to happen yet. At one time, I thought we were all going to go to Wings' place and work on it there and get him started. But he doesn't have a place to work on it. So now it's going to happen at my place. I was going to clean the garage and sort of receive him this week, but I've been so sick that, you guys don't know, but I've been until today, I spent my whole week in bed. I would just sort of get up, make a video, and give you all the energy I could, and then get back in bed. But I woke up this morning, and I was like breathing through 2 nostrils for the first time in ages, and just feeling better. And I cleaned the garage a little bit. It's still not ready to receive the desk, but I'm making progress. And the first step of working on a woodworking project is getting the shop ready for work, and that's where I am right now. But I don't know who he's bringing over or what that is all about. We need to. I think Wings has a bunch of friends who are excited about the road trip, and my wife is very much not excited about bringing strangers into our house. So we got to sort of figure out the balance for that, and we'll go from there. And by the way, I will do some vlogs. There's a lot of people who've wanted to see me woodwork, a lot of people who are interested in the progress. So I'll be sure to record it for you guys. Woody, are you going to the Living Legends paintball event? Yep, I'll go. It's, I think, in the middle of this month. It's something I've been doing for the last couple years in a row. I meet a bunch of friends, we hang out, a bunch of YouTubers, and it should be a blast. But yep, I'm going there. I'm going to try and put up a video with footage from last year, and that should be really cool. But yeah, Living Legends. We'll talk about it more on PKA as well. But it's coming, and it's going to happen again this year. I'm psyched. Woody, talk to us about that good old Mary Jane and why you're not a pothead like the rest of us. My objection to pot isn't a moral one. There's 2 parts of it. One, like the adult version of me, and one, the teenage one. So, when other people were getting into pot at their teenage years, I was getting into sports, and I found it was like my whole passion. I was a swimmer, and I started not drinking soda anymore, going to really, really healthy diets, exercising between 2 and 6 hours a day, depending on whether it was in the season or not. And the idea of smoking pot was like the furthest thing from my head. I stopped drinking beer. I stopped drinking soda. I went in the other direction completely. And then, that version of me existed through college, and then I'm an adult and never really got into pot, and there you have it. It's hard to be, no one gets into pot when they're married and having their first kid and stuff like that. So that's my personal life story. The version of me now, I my thoughts on it. It's not so much the pot itself. I mean, it's bad for you. Don't let people say it's good for you. Oh, it cures cancer and this and that, and it's great for nausea. It has some things going for it, like the nausea stuff, but let's just consider it to be like unfiltered cigarettes without nicotine. Let's call pot basically that in the unhealthy scale. So what do I think of it? The trouble is the social aspect. It seems like a lot of people that get into pot, they it becomes a primary focus, and they're not getting into other achievements that are more worthwhile. That's the problem with pot. If it becomes like your hobby, right? If pot is the thing that you're into, then oftentimes you do that at the exclusion of actual success and achievement in life. So anyway, that's the deal with pot. I don't want to give anyone the go ahead to start, smoking it up or something, but I kind of feel like if more people did it totally responsibly and kept it, like a responsible alcohol drinker, then it would be okay. It's just the people who take it to excess and miss out on the other good stuff that life has to offer that cause the trouble. Which, you know, so maybe someday when it becomes legal for people who are over 21, those guys will be in a good position to make responsible decisions about it. Anyway, I don't know. I just started talking about pot. Let's do one more. Woody, why do you have an agent, and are you the only YouTuber with one? Why do I have an agent? Because people would come to me with deals all the time, and I wouldn't even look at them. I wouldn't give them time of day. I didn't have time. I was really focused on making videos. I was focused on my next big idea. The in real life stuff takes a lot more time than you might guess, and I would just skip it all, like not even reply to people because I didn't have time. Now, whenever I get an offer, I can just slide it over to my agent, and she can look at it and see if it's something that's worth talking to, if it fits with what we're doing, if it would be a win for both my subscribers and for me, and you know, that kind of thing. Am I the only YouTuber with an agent? No, not at all. You know, trust me. Like, so for one, Machinima serves as an agent to their bigger people. When you see people talking about like new games or you know, a bunch of guys you saw talking about the Ryan Lochte reality show, trust me, that deal came through somebody functioning as their agent. And it's super common, not only in the gaming community, but outside of the gaming community. There are tons of people having deals. You know, heck, one of my agents I share with, well, I don't want to name everyone. I don't know if they'd want to be named, but you know, some of the biggest YouTubers out there, people with 4, 6 million subs, 9 million. I don't know about 9, but millions and millions of subs. You know, I have the same agent that some of those guys do, and yeah, so I've got a couple agents, and they look at deals and they figure out, and I decline a lot of stuff because it's not a good fit for you guys, but sometimes I accept it because it is. That's how it works. If you made it this far, maybe I earned your like.